Welcome in, guys, to where I recap every single NFL team 2023 season. We're in the NFC West with the Arizona Cardinals, and they've had a lot of transition in the last couple of years, especially at the front office. Cliff Kingsbury got fired after the 2022 season, rightfully so. He wasn't taking his team any further than he should do. So in comes in Monty Mosfert. I hope I said his last name right. He came out to GM in Arizona, and then Jonathan Gannon, former defensive head coach to the Eagles, got his first head coaching job, and they still had Kyler Murray, who they give that fucking contract. Oh my god, with $160 million guaranteed money, which again, looking at that now, probably wasn't the best decision, and I think they need a quarterback. They need to get a quarterback in this draft. We'll talk about that anyway. They finished bottom of the NFC West with a 4-13 record. The additions they bring in: Josh Woods from my Detroit Lions, he comes in. Fenton comes in as a cornerback, and Pascal, wide receiver from the Packers. In the draft, again, if you're gonna stick with Kyler Murray, which again I don't think they are after this season, but they go for Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle. I was surprised he got drafted that early. I was thinking, maybe he's going to be definitely top 10 pick, but I think he's going to be later on. But he was drafted, was he like third or fourth in the draft? Paris Johnson Jr. came in offensive tackle to help protect Kyler Murray. BJ Alavaggio, I don't know how he says his last name, so I don't want to disrespect him, but he came as a defensive tackle. Garrett Williams, a cornerback. Michael Wilson's wide receiver. John Stringer, the second offensive guard. Clayton Tune, the cornerback. Again, he's part of those quarterbacks that was part of that 2020 class that had a bit of leverage over because of the pandemic. They could stay in college a bit longer, and the story, I've said it by now. So we have Clayton Tune, cornerback. Owen Poor, linebacker. Terrell Clark, cornerback, and Dante Still, defensive tackle. Cap space, they have $56 million cap space. Kyler Murray, even though he was injured for most part of the season, he racked up 1,799 passing yards. James Conner, who had a good season a couple of years ago, 2021, he had a really outstanding season for the Cardinals. I think it's time to move him on now, but he did have 1,040 receiving yards. Again, he isn't the guy like he was a couple of years ago. He had he was pointing some good some good receiving yards a couple of years ago, but James Conner isn't the guy anymore. 56 million cap space, so you have a ton of cap space that you can juggle around, and you can move people around and see what you need. So that's pretty good. The points for 24th out of 32, rushing yards 4th out of 32, passing yards 26 out of 32. Points against them 31st out of 32. They had a shit defense, even though they had a defensive head coach. They had a really bad defense, second last on the defense side of the ball. Free agents. Hollywood Brown is only really big free agent. Who's going to be a free agent? Who is a free agent now is Hollywood Brown. He's a free agent. Turner's a free agent linebacker. But again, most of this roster needs a refresh. You need a quarterback. Absolutely need to get the quarterback position right, because when you got 2020, you got Kyler Murray. You got sold a bag of beans, and you give them $160 million guaranteed money. Yeah, you need a quarterback. You need a wide receiver. You need a wide receiver and a running back. Another offensive tackle to help Paris Johnson Jr. I think Paris Johnson Jr. is a great addition, but you need somebody else with him to help him. So you need somebody else to keep building that offensive line. Paris Johnson Jr. was good last year. You need somebody else in that offensive tackle this year, either in free agency or in the draft. And again, this kind of counts here, but offensive line as well needs addressing as well. And like I said, quarterback and a cornerback. You need another cornerback, I think, as well. But again, offense needs addressing. What would you on offense? Use 24th out of 30 for offense. That needs to be addressed. Quarterback first, then wide receiver and running back.